Hi there. I thought it'd be helpful for anybody who's considering doing a Microsoft course in Power BI, or perhaps someone who works in sales and who's talking to people who are interested in doing these courses and is just confused by the 10 different courses that Microsoft is now offering. So I'm going to go through these 10 different courses and help you to make sense of them so you can work out either which course you want to do or which course you might advise your clients to do. So the first distinction, I think, is that only one of them is for 3 days and all those blue ones are only for 1 day. The PL 300 Power BI Data Analyst course, the 3-day one, is also a bit special because it's intended to prepare people who take it for the Microsoft Certified PL 300 exam, and lots of people do it for that reason because they want a Microsoft certification that comes with it. So normally organizations don't sell the exam as part of the course. You have to buy that separately, and it's a bit more than £100 at the moment. But lots of people do like to do it just because they get the certification. The 1-day courses, the blue ones, don't have an exam, but if you do it with a training company, then you can get a badge that you can display. So it's like a course completion certificate, I suppose. Okay, so let's break them down now according to the content and the kind of person they're aimed at. So first of all of those ones, everything except developer in a day and administrator in a day, all of them are intended for analysts who want to produce some kind of report. And all except for the bottom one, the paginated reports in a day, are intended for people who are working in the Power BI desktop program. So that means those people are developing Power BI reports which use all of those lovely slides and visualizations that you can use in it. So, you know, from basic column charts and pie charts to ribbon charts, chord charts, all sorts of sort of specialized things, word clouds. And when they're published to a service, if you've got more than one chart on the same page, they're interactive, so the user can click on one of them and that then automatically applies a filter to the other one. So it creates these lovely report pages and dashboards that give us so much insight into our data. The other course, the paginated reports and data, is a bit of an oddity really. That uses a different application, a different program called Power BI Paginated Report Builder. And to explain what it does, I suppose the easiest way to explain is to think of making a big report in Excel. If you imagine you've made a great big table in Excel, and when you print it out, it prints to, I don't know, 121 pages. It's a bit unwieldy. But what you can do with Power BI Paginated Report Builder is to make a report like that, but at the top of your report you can put parameters which allow the report to be shortened. So for example, you could have a parameter that specifies the month of all the transactions that are shown in the table. So rather than saying I want all of the transactions, which gives me my 121 pages, I can put in I actually only want the pages for May 2021. And when I set my parameter to that, now I just get 3 pages for my report. So that's the sort of thing you can do with Paginated Report Builder and that course on working with that program. Different then from all of the others. Let's have a quick look at the 2 courses at the bottom, Developer in a Day and Administrator in a Day. So Developer in a Day is probably the one that people get most confused about. By developer, Microsoft mean programmer. This is intended for programmers, typically people who are writing web apps. And in the blurb for the course, Microsoft specified that if you're going to come on that course, you really need to be good at least one of these languages. ASP.NET, which is the Microsoft programming language for creating websites, C#, which is a general purpose programming language, HTML, which is of course the foundation of the web, and JavaScript, which is a client-side programming language for formatting and applying effects and fancy formatting to web pages. So you need to know about that kind of programming, and that course is intended to introduce you, if you do know about programming, to embedding Power BI reports in your own programs. Okay, so it takes you from being a general purpose programmer to a programmer who understands how to embed Power BI reports in your own programs. So it's not at all like all of the reports at the courses at the top of the list for making Power BI reports. It's for general purpose programmers. And then the one at the bottom, administrator in a day, just as large organizations employ IT people to make sure that people all have Windows licenses and licenses to use Microsoft Office, and if they've got licenses to use Office, they've got the right applications installed on their computers. When an organization has decided to invest in Power BI, there is another level of administration that those people need to do, because they need to be able to decide who's got access to Power BI desktop, who can publish to certain workspaces. So like these are like folders that they can publish to, which are associated with projects people are working on. And then also things like how to make sure that people don't infringe confidentiality or GDPR legislation by publishing confidential stuff where it shouldn't be published. So this is for administrators, IT people who are going to be taking charge of the administration of the Power BI system, making sure that the right people have got the right licenses and that people are publishing things in the right places. Okay, so now let's look at the top courses, the courses for people who want to develop Power BI reports in a little bit more detail, so you can sort out what kinds of people need to do each of those. So the top two, Power BI Data Analyst, the PL300, and Dashboard in a Day, those are both aimed at beginners and a bit simplistic, but you can think of Dashboard in a Day as being like just a one-day version of PL300. But obviously, as the cliche goes, you pays your money, you makes your choice. If you pay for a one-day course, you're not going to get 3 days worth of content squeezed into one day. You get 1 day of content with lots of it left out. Okay, so if you want a thorough explanation of how to use Power BI Desktop and build nice reports, then you really need to do the 3-day course. The 1-day one is really for people who are not going to be using it very much, just people, maybe managers who'd like to know how it works and what you can do with it, but they're not going to be the people who really develop the Power BI reports. Then we've got a group of 3 courses that are intended for people who already know something about Power BI. This is for intermediate to advanced level Power BI report builders. And I put them in an order here which coincides with the order in which you run a Power BI project. So first of all, you do your data modeling, then you'd make formulas using the DAX programming language, and then you'd build your visualizations. If training companies run those 3 courses in that order, first of all advanced data modeling and shaping, then DAX in a day, and then advanced visualization with Power BI, that would make a great advanced Power BI course for advanced people. Most people don't do that, most organizations don't do that, but if you could choose those 3 courses to run one after another, that would make a fantastic advanced course. So then we just got these specific courses for different groups of people. I've already talked about the paginated reports in a day, so I'm not going to go back to that. But let's look at this modern Excel analyst in a day. When Microsoft developed Power BI, they had a clever idea, which is that if they took all the people who know Excel, which is basically just about everybody, and then built some extra features into it, which make Excel a simple BI tool, then that will make it that much easier for people to move to Excel, from Excel to Power BI. So that's what they've done here. They built a couple of extra add-ins into Excel, which, to be honest, most people don't know about. And that course is intended to show the transition from basic Excel to more advanced Excel using those extra plugins, up to Power BI. So it shows how the two things work together and their common features. And then finally, leap into Power BI. That's a bit naughty, really, that course. What Microsoft is really trying to do here is to poach all the people who know Tableau and to lure them over to working with Power BI instead. But the official version, what you're supposed to say to people is it's for Tableau users who would like to learn also how to use Power BI. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let me know if you need any more help with what kind of people should go on each course.